You know, we talk about AI all the time as this incredible force for creation, for progress. But what happens when that exact same power gets turned against us? Well, today we're going to look at how AI has become the ultimate weapon for deception.
So get this. Last year, a deepfake audio call, a perfect, flawless clone of a CEO's voice, tricked a finance team into wiring money to a bunch of criminals. The amount of money involved was just staggering. $25 million gone in a flash. All because a voice on the phone sounded authentic. But you know what the craziest part is?
No one noticed the fraud while it was happening. Not the experts, not the people in charge. The deception was that good. Now look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is a daily threat, and I've seen it play out myself. It proves that AI is no longer just a tool for building things. It's becoming the ultimate weapon for deception. So today, we're going to break down exactly how this is happening, and more importantly, what you can do to protect yourself.
My name is Marcel Masaga. As an AI engineer who has built systems on the front lines of this technology, I've seen both its incredible promise and, well, its emerging dangers. So let's get right into it.
All right, we're going to break this down into 6 parts. We'll start with the end of trust and look at the hacker's new toolkit. Then, we'll get into the danger of a faked identity. After that, we'll cover this thing called the accountability vacuum, why our old defenses are failing, and finally, how we can build a new kind of resilience, what I call digital immunity.
So this brings us to a really fundamental shift. See, AI isn't just being used to create things anymore. It's being weaponized. And its primary target? It's no longer our technology. It's us.
And that's the crucial point right there. For decades, cybersecurity was all about protecting digital walls. Hackers would look for little cracks in the code. But now they've realized it is so much easier to find a crack in our own psychology. They're using AI to bypass human trust, which is, and always has been, the weakest link in any system. And the scariest part, you won't even know you've been hacked. There's no alert, no warning, just a perfectly crafted deception.
So let's actually look at the hacker's new toolkit. You can forget about those old brute force attacks. This is about sophisticated, personalized deception. The evolution from those spammy phishing emails we all know, well, it's dramatic.
Okay, what's really interesting is the contrast you see here. We all learned how to spot traditional phishing, right? Bad grammar, dear sir or madam, obvious sketchy links, they were pretty clumsy. But AI-powered phishing, that's a completely different beast. We're talking perfect grammar, hyper-personalized messages using details from your own life to mimic someone you trust with just chilling accuracy. It's no longer a wide net, it's a sniper rifle aimed directly at you.
Let's make this personal for a second. Imagine you get a call from your mother. She sounds panicked, she needs money wired immediately. The voice is hers, the accent is perfect, the emotion in her voice feels completely real. But it's not her. It's a voice clone trained on just a few minutes of her audio. This is happening right now. We've seen cases in Kenya where families were scammed using these exact tactics. The attackers find a target, they gather a little bit of audio, they train a model, and they strike. And because you trust the voice, you comply. This isn't just fraud. This is digital impersonation warfare.
And, it goes way beyond just mimicking people we know. The next frontier is creating people who don't exist at all, and then using those synthetic identities to break the very systems that were designed to protect us. This is where AI moves from simple impersonation to the wholesale forgery of reality.
So, the crucial thing to understand is how this plays out in critical sectors. In Nigeria, for instance, criminals are using synthetic identities to open bank accounts, and then they just vanish. The bank systems check out, everything looks fine, but no real person ever existed. In healthcare, it's even more dangerous. Attackers can forge medical records or use a deepfake video to impersonate a doctor and authorize a fraudulent procedure, like we saw in a clinic in Mombasa. The hospital system authenticates the face, but the person isn't real. This is the slow erosion of truth in our most critical systems.
And this all leads to a deeply unsettling question. For years, we were all told that biometrics, our fingerprints, our faces, were the gold standard. They were unique to us, impossible to forge. We literally built our entire digital security infrastructure on that one assumption. So, what happens when AI can break them?
The consequences are frankly staggering. Using technologies like generative adversarial networks, or GANs, hackers can now create synthetic biometric data that just fools our sensors.
This means your phone could be unlocked with a generated image, your bank account could be accessed with a synthetic fingerprint, even international borders could be bypassed with a convincing deepfake video. And these attacks are silent. There's no alarm, no failed password log, just access.
This new reality of AI-driven crime creates a huge legal and ethical problem. I mean, when a human hacker breaks into a system, we can investigate them, we can prosecute them. But this new paradigm leaves us in a really dangerous gray area.
This is what we call the accountability vacuum. Think about it. When a deepfake voice commits fraud, who is to blame? Is it the developer who built the tool? Is it the anonymous user who deployed it? What about the platform that hosted it? Each one of them can deny responsibility. This creates a situation where real harm happens, but justice just can't follow because the intent is impossible to trace. And in places where legal frameworks are still catching up, this vacuum leaves victims with absolutely no recourse.
So, if we can't always prosecute the crime, our only real option is to prevent it. But here's the problem. Our entire cybersecurity playbook is outdated. We are literally fighting the last war, using tools designed for a completely different kind of threat.
Let's just walk through how this happens in the real world, using a case from a bank in Nairobi. It starts with an urgent call. The caller identifies himself as the CFO. He sounds stressed and he's demanding an immediate wire transfer. The manager listens, the voice is a perfect match, and so the transfer is authorized. Only later is the fraud actually discovered.
In this one instance, $180,000 was lost. They later discovered the real CFO had been on vacation. The phone number was spoofed, and the voice was an AI clone generated from a leaked podcast interview the CFO had given just months earlier.
And this is the key takeaway. That bank had state-of-the-art cybersecurity, firewalls, encryption, the whole shebang. But none of it mattered, because AI attacks don't exploit software bugs, they exploit human psychology. They weaponize trust and perception. You can't patch a voice, you can't update a face, and you definitely can't put a firewall around a professional relationship. The new battlefield is cognitive.
So what's the answer? Well, it's not fear, and it's not logging off forever. The answer is to evolve our defenses. We need to move from a mindset of digital security to one of digital immunity, a proactive, layered approach to building resilience in this age of AI deception.
Here's how it works. First, human verification. Always confirm any urgent, sensitive request through a different channel, a simple text or callback. Second, AI detection tools. We need to use AI trained to spot deepfakes and voice clones. Third, explainable AI. We need to demand systems that can actually explain why they made an authentication decision. And finally, ethical design. Prioritizing user trust and safety over just speed. It's really about building a culture of healthy skepticism.
You see, this isn't just a technical challenge. It's a deeply human one. The technologies we've discussed today are eroding the very foundations of what we perceive as real, and it leaves us with a critical question. In a world of synthetic reality, how will we learn to trust again?
The line between what's real and what's synthetic, it's blurring faster than we can prepare for. The only way forward is to build our defenses, not just in our technology, but in our thinking. Think deeper, build wiser, and lead with courage.